G'day, Lockie here. Wanted to do a very quick spot on Contour by the Heptio folks. So if you go to Heptio's GitHub site, let's go ahead and search there. They released a new open source project called Contour today. And what Contour is, it's a Kubernetes ingress controller based on Lyft's Envoy proxy. Now you may have heard of Envoy around the ridges. It's come into quite a lot of popularity recently. It's a CNCF project, and it's also used currently in Istio, so you may have seen it in both of those places. But what Heptio have done with Contour is wrapped a Envoy and made it a Kubernetes ingress controller. So all I'm going to do is go through this demo really quickly to show you what that means so you can get your hands dirty, but I encourage you to come and take a look. There's also a great blog post on it on the Heptio website as well. So all you need to do is go ahead and deploy this to a cluster. So let's see, I have a cluster here. Yeah, I have a 1.8.1 cluster here. I have 3 nodes and get NS. Okay, so I have a 1.8.1. This is actually an AKS cluster, so let's go and try this on AKS. Now, currently in public preview, we don't have RBAC enabled, so I'm just going to deploy the non-RBAC. But if I go and take a look at what this is, looks like we've got a namespace, a service account, and a deployment, replicas 2, and in here we have a couple of containers. Looks like we have 2. We have Envoy Alpine from the Lyft container repository. We have this Contour master, which probably wraps Envoy. That's the thing that looks at Kubernetes ingress records and configures Envoy accordingly. And we also have, it looks like, an init container here as well. Okay, fantastic. In Bootstrap, we've got some pod any affinities and a service of type load balancer. So let's go ahead and go and drop that in. We can take the Kubernetes create, kubectl create I should say, deployment with no RBAC, and get pods inside the Heptio Contour namespace. Okay, so, well, you got 2 of 2 coming up here. Let's go ahead, kubectl get service, or namespaces. Okay, and kubectl describe service contour. Okay, so I'm going to wait for this to get a public IP from Azure here. Looks like there's an AWS annotation on the service. That should be fine. Don't need to touch that. Okay, so once we get this public IP here, what I should be able to do is go and I have a domain here, az.astrato.io. I'm going to create a new record set. We'll wait for it. I'm going to put star under contour demo.astrato.az.astrato.io, and once we get the IP address for that. Now, while we're waiting for that to get a public IP, we're going to install the Kubernetes up and running demo, CARD, or Quad, I'm not quite sure how you say that. Now Quad gets an ingress here, anything matches, and we go to the Quad service. We've got a service here that's cluster IP, and a simple deployment here. So we should be able to, once we have a public IP here, test Quad. Now I have done some videos on ingress controllers, so if you're not familiar with how they work, feel free to take a look at them. And in the next minute or so, I'm going to just drop that annotation. I don't think it'll affect this, but given that we're not on AWS, I don't think it matters. But we should get a public IP here in a minute. Let's go and dig into here a little bit more. Okay, try hard not to place the 2 of these on the same node. Okay, so any affinity we're matching on this label app equals contour, and we're making sure they're not on the same. Now this is just preferred, as they said, not preferred during scheduling, ignored during execution. It is not required. Still no public IP here. Once we get that IP, we're good to go. Heptio Images Contour Master. Let's go and have a look at what else we see under this repo while we're waiting for that public IP. Okay, so there's a whole bunch. Doesn't support customizations, or okay, does not yet support SSL TLS. Okay, and SNI. Okay, so we should be able to do some basic HTTP ingress. Very excited for this and very excited to see where it goes. So great work from the folks at Heptio yet again. Looks like Dave Cheney's been working on this. Come on, give me my public IP. Let's do a describe. Taking a while to ensuring load balancer. Oh, looks like we've got a roadmap here too. Metric support, okay. Nice. Some nice docs on how that works. I could also run a port forward, but I want to go through the public interface. To show you the end of this demo, does not consult, okay. Standard annotations. I was honestly considering just having it already deployed. Oh, because Nick is not in succeeded state, resources updating. It'll probably catch in the next one, next cycle. Really liking 1.8 how it does this age, so you can see how many you've had and how many, the duration. Come on, once I get Nick 2 here in succeeded state, I should be Nick 1 in succeeded state, I should be okay. There we go. Alright, so you can see now I've got a public IP. There we go. We're going to pop over to DNS here and set it. Okay. I'm going to deploy kubectl create -f card. Okay. Kubectl get ingress. Got the ingress there. And kubectl get pods in the namespace Heptio Contour. Let's just grab the logs here. Take a look at what we got. Okay, we've got those two containers. We've got an envoy. What's it doing? It's up and running. And we've got a contour container here. And we also had the init config. So this should be up and running at this point. I should be able to go. Now I created car-contour demo. That's not actually a thing. Fantastic. So that's actually gone through. Can I see traffic? And we see the traffic hitting. Fantastic. So that's it end to end. Deployed Contour as an ingress controller, which is a new Heptio open source project. Keep an eye on it. Should be a lot of fun. And thanks for joining. Cheers.